Hey there movie lovers, welcome back to Rocky Watches Movies. Today we're plunging into the wonderfully weird world of the 1984 cult classic, The Toxic Avenger. This offbeat superhero tale is packed with outrageous gore, over-the-top humour and unforgettable characters that have earned it a devoted following over the years. But how much do you really know about what went on behind the scenes? So grab your mop and gas mask and let's dive into 20 things you never knew about the Toxic Avenger. After going behind the scenes on Rocky, Lloyd Kaufman decided to make a film set in a health club with his friend Michael Hertz. Upon reading a magazine article titled "Horror Film is Dead," Troma opted to turn the project into a horror movie with the working title of Health Club. He also noted that comics, along with recreational drugs and self-pleasuring, had significant influence on him. Troma's humble beginnings began in a broom closet with no windows. Kaufman remembered staring across at a mop and bucket, which were part of the closet's fittings. He went on to say that some 10 years later, when the Toxic Avenger was finally created, that mop had remained in his mind throughout the entire time. On watching the film, you might spot a young Marissa Tomei, long before she became an Oscar-winning star. She was used as an extra in a scene where she emerges from a shower. Unsurprisingly, there are a few continuity errors. Given the film's low budget and rough and ready production style, here are some of them. Before his mutation, Melvin's hair is definitely brown. Yet the stunt double who falls from the health club window is definitely blonde. In the Mexican restaurant scene, one henchman is thrown into the kitchen, landing on the floor and initially covered in tortilla chips. Moments later, when Toxie lifts him, he is instead covered in taco shells. There is also a special effects oversight when Toxie rides on top of Bozo's car. The handles on the roof used for him to hold onto are clearly visible. The monster that Melvin transforms into is never actually called the Toxic Avenger by any actor in the film, aside from the narrator. During production, the character had no official name. This is further evidenced by the children in the film wearing t-shirts that read, "I love the monster hero." There are around 10 deleted scenes, along with other ones that are extended, that are included in the hard-to-find extended edition. Here are some of them. One scene depicts Wanda and Julie surrendering to the police, revealing that they survived Toxie's attack, though not without some comical injuries. Wanda has a bag of ice taped to her backside after being burnt in the sauna, while Julie, instead of being stabbed with Toxie's scissors, has had her hair entirely shaved off, leaving her bald. Another scene shows Toxie hurling a sandwich, which hits the face of Sarah's next-door neighbour. The neighbour is played by Mitch Cohen, appearing without his Toxic Avenger makeup. The fast food robber whose arm is torn off actually only had one real arm. In the scene, it's clear that his right arm is a prosthetic, as he never moves or uses it until Toxie tears it off. Transforming Mitch Cohen into the grotesque yet iconic Toxic Avenger was no small feat. It reportedly took a painstaking 4 hours just to get him fully into the costume. The guide dog that was shot had been trained to glide smoothly across the floor on cue, creating the illusion of being struck. For the gory aftermath, the effects team used various items including strands of spaghetti coated in grey paint. During filming in Shinbone Alley, production was briefly thrown into chaos when a homeless man managed to snatch a prop gun from one of the trailers. Mistaking it for a real weapon, he used it to threaten members of the crew, causing genuine panic on set. The film's shocking depiction of a child's head being crushed was achieved by injecting a melon with corn syrup and red food dye. A wig was placed on the melon, which was then fitted onto a dummy. Despite its low cost, the effect is remarkably unsettling. This scene was inspired by an incident in which Kaufman, while reversing a car out of his garage, accidentally struck his younger sister. Thankfully, her head was not crushed and no one was seriously injured, but the memory stayed with him for years. Troma reimagined the character for a younger audience with the 1991 animated series Toxic Crusaders. This was a fully in-house production which softened Toxie's origins and removed the film's gore and sexual content. Echoing environmentally themed shows such as Captain Planet, the 13-episode series conveyed a strong ecological message. Toxie, voiced by Roger Bumpass, led a team of mutant heroes fighting pollution-spreading villains in Tromaville. One of the franchise's most surprising successes was the Toxic Avenger the Musical. Written by David Bryan and Joe DiPietro, it reimagined Melvin as an ecologist battling Tromaville's corrupt mayor and her polluting associates, while navigating his romance with librarian Sarah. The show premiered in New Jersey in 2008 before transferring off-Broadway the following year. It received strong reviews and went on to productions across the US, Canada, Australia and the UK. Critics praised its campy humour and its clever balance of the film's zany spirit with theatre-friendly appeal, suggesting that Toxie may have been destined for the stage all along. On the chaotic and unconventional set of The Toxic Avenger in 1984, love blossomed amidst the chaos of low-budget filmmaking. Jennifer Baptiste and Robert Pritchard, who were both part of the quirky cast and crew, found themselves drawn to each other as they navigated the eccentricities of the production, going on to tie the knot. 3 sequels followed the original film. The first 2, The Toxic Avenger Part 2 and The Toxic Avenger Part 3, The Last Temptation of Toxie, were both released in 1989. The third sequel, Citizen Toxie, The Toxic Avenger 4, premiered in 2001. Kaufman had a long-standing friendship with the renowned comic book writer Stan Lee. They had even co-written a script titled Night of the Witch, which was optioned by Canon but never produced. Led by Lee, The Toxic Avenger was transformed into a comic book series, with Marvel reimagining the character through its own lens. The stories combined traditional superhero action with biting satire and environmental themes, preserving a touch of Troma's trademark dark humour while reshaping Toxie into a more conventional hero. Kaufman had outlined plans for a 5th Toxic Avenger film with a story that would be set in Chernobyl. A Ukrainian billionaire had initially offered to fund about half of the budget, but the outbreak of war left the project in limbo. A new remake has been made. The Toxic Avenger Unrated serves as both a reboot and a remake of the 1984 original. Written and directed by Macon Blair, the film stars Peter Dinklage as Toxie, alongside Elijah Wood and Kevin Bacon. It premiered at Fantastic Fest in September 2023, but will receive a full release in 2025. Long before the reboot was made, Kaufman was asked about his thoughts on a remake. In 2008, he said that he would likely allow filmmakers such as Eli Roth or James Gunn to remake the film for free, but suggested that someone like Brett Ratner would have to pay a substantial sum. Ouch. Due in part to its deliberately gratuitous nudity, Troma has occasionally been labelled sexist by some critics and viewers. When asked about this, Kaufman insisted that such a claim was impossible. He argued that anyone familiar with their films would not make that assertion, and that only those who had never seen the movies might suggest Troma was sexist. He pointed out that Toxie has a girlfriend who is far more intelligent than he is, and holds the moral high ground, while Toxie himself is consistently loyal to her and cares for his mother, making him decidedly non-sexist. And there you have it, folks. You now know a little bit more about the Toxic Avenger. If you enjoyed the video, which I presume you did as you got this far, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos coming to Rocky Watches Movies. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.